You know what I woke up in the mood for today? To read some stuff that's both horrifying but also fun, and that's just what I plan to do today. Today's episode is going to be an absolute adventure, and I hope you guys are ready. And also let me know down below in the comment section if you're having a good day, and let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. We're starting the episode on the relationship subreddit today, and oh god, I don't know if I'm ready for this one. My 27 female best friend's husband, 27 male, told me that I'm his obsession. I'm using a throwaway account for obvious reasons, and buckle up because it's a long one. Let me give you some backstory. I met my best friend 6 years ago, and we've been inseparable ever since. Shortly after us meeting, she started dating her now husband, and naturally with us spending so much time together, we all eventually became very close friends. About 2 years ago or so, he started referring to me as his sister, telling my best friend and I that I was like the sister that he never had, to which at the time I did agree, and for a while it was just that. Eventually I started feeling as though he uses the title to justify how close we are and to push the boundaries of our friendship, and this sibling label feels like a way to make our closeness appear more innocent to others. I've been onto the fact that he tends to walk the line of how friendly he can be with me, and while I've maintained our close and playful friendship, I've always been aware and cautious that he might be pushing his boundaries. His wife, my best friend, has seen and known about our closeness, but she's never shown any discomfort or concern, which has been confusing to me because I've definitely felt that he sometimes overstepped in front of her, and she's never said anything. Let me give you a few examples in chronological order, I think. Starting about 3 years ago, he got blackout drunk at a get-together once and started throwing up outside. My best friend asked me to watch him because she doesn't handle puke well, so I stayed with him. And after a bit, he started trying to hold my hand, and despite me pulling away, he kept trying after a few seconds. I told myself that he was so drunk that he must have thought that I was my best friend and confused us, but something about it felt off. The next day, he told us that he'd blacked out and didn't remember a thing, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt and I never mentioned anything. But a few weeks later, he brought up something that he told me that day while we were outside, something that he wouldn't have remembered telling me if he'd actually been blacked out. I don't remember the context of the situation, but one day at their house there was nowhere to sit, and he pat his lap and then motioned for me to sit on his lap. His wife was sitting right next to him and either didn't see or didn't think it was weird, I guess. Another time, my best friend and I went out for happy hour and got drunk, and he had to come pick us up. Once we got home, I was laying on the couch with my eyes shut, and he came and sat next to me and started talking to me. I honestly don't remember what he said, but I remember feeling him scoot closer to me until his thigh was touching my arm, and I remember telling him that he needed to scoot over before his wife came and thought something was up. He didn't end up moving, and she walked out and asked what was going on, and he said that he was just checking on me. Her and I went back to the room, and she asked me something along the lines of, was he being inappropriate? And I told her no, because I honestly didn't know what to think. Was he? Was that enough to be considered inappropriate? He didn't seem to be trying to hide it at all, which made me think that I was maybe thinking too deep into it. Anyway, that was never brought up again either. Another time I was at their house and I went to go say hi to him with a hug. My best friend was in their room and he hugged me, and despite me trying to pull away twice, he didn't let go until he heard the bedroom door open. Hug was maybe 7 or so seconds long, which we never do. Oh god, this is so hard to read. I can't stand this sort of stuff. Recently we were all out together and I looked up at him and said something, and he looked me in the eyes and said, "Oh, those eyes," and just stared into my soul literally as we were standing directly next to his wife. She again either didn't notice or didn't think it was weird. Also, a few months ago, he grabbed my phone without me noticing and cleared out all of my apps. I hadn't noticed that he ever knew my password, and when I asked him how long he'd known it, he told me a few years. Oh god. This made me so uncomfortable that I changed the password right away because I couldn't stop imagining him purposely going through it and finding like my nudes or something, which I keep in my hidden folder. But if he has my password, what difference does it make? A few weeks later, he noticed I had changed it, and though he didn't directly say anything, I caught the vibe that he wasn't happy about it. Ew. So after all of these things, and a few I'm probably forgetting, his mental health starts visibly declining, especially when he's around me. He gets quiet and moody. He starts hinting that he's dealing with something, but won't say what it is. And a few months ago, he started slowly hinting that the thing is really serious, and he can't trust anybody with the information. At this point, I'm mentally preparing myself for a confession of love. Despite everything, I didn't want to believe it. No one ever expects to find themselves in a situation like this. And then a couple of days ago, it happened, kinda. He told me flat out that he recently realized that he has something called erotomania, and that he wanted to clarify that he's never cheated on his wife and that he loves her very much, but it's something that's consuming him and he doesn't know how to handle it on his own anymore. He said that it's all he thinks about and that he has a serious obsession. Definition for those of you who don't know what it is, because I sure didn't. Erotomania is a rare psychotic disorder and a subtype of delusional disorder that causes people to have delusions that somebody else is in love with them. The person believed to be in love with them is usually someone of a higher social or financial status, like a a celebrity or boss or president who is out of reach or already in a relationship. Also, for context, this one is the disorder that Joe from You also suffers from. I mention that because he told me that he feels a connection to Joe in a non-crazy way is what he said. Also, I want to mention that up until this point, he hasn't straight up told me that this has anything to do with me. But today while we were texting, he started telling me about his You. He said his You had become his obsession and he didn't know if he was delusional of it or if it was mutual. After he went into detail about why he's been so obsessed with his You, it became pretty undeniable that I'm the one that he's referring to, though neither of us has called it out. At the end of the conversation, he asked what I would do if I were him, and I told him to do some deep reflecting about what he wants in life, because carrying on like this isn't fair to him or especially his wife, and that he needs to be proactive about seeking professional help, and then that was where he cut the conversation. This confession has obviously put me in a very difficult situation. I'm trying to figure out the best way to approach it. He's my friend, so I also want to be supportive without encouraging his delusions, but I really don't know where to go from here. It's obvious that he needs professional help, but he's not currently ready to seek therapy, but I'll continue to suggest it. But where does that leave me and my best friend? I feel like my brain hasn't processed any of this yet. I feel kind of numb and void of feelings. How would she feel if she found out? How do I tell her your husband has become obsessed with me? Should I even tell her? Should I make him tell her? My hope is that he'll see a professional and they'll help him deal with the situation, how they best see fit. But in the meantime, literally, what the hell? Edit. So it's been a couple of days now, and after speaking to my parents, husband, and therapist about this, it finally has sunk in. When I initially wrote this post, I was in shock and denial, and I was trying every way to rationalize this in a way that would ultimately hurt everybody less. Since then, I've realized that my best friend and I have both fallen victim to his manipulation and emotional mind games. I should have trusted my gut every time it told me something was off, but he knew that I would empathize with him, but he played his cards in a way that would have me questioning my own reality. A friend of mine told me intentions don't always matter, and that sometimes we need to take people's actions for what they are. At the end of the day, regardless if I'm struggling to accept if this was all played out intentionally with malice, or if it's something that he let get out of hand, it wasn't my responsibility to keep his feelings in check for him. He should have sought out professional help long ago, like I've always suggested to him, and he should have done everything he could to squash the feelings he had towards me rather than to nurture them with fantasies about us being together someday and letting it get to the point of becoming a dangerous obsession. My therapist is now seriously concerned for mine and my best friend's safety. Although it's become pretty clear to us that this delusional disorder is a hoax, that doesn't take away from the fact that he's taken this obsession to a dangerous level, and that he does still seem to be wrapped up in this illusion that somehow we can be together and make it work with his wife. I have sent him a long message telling him I'm no longer going to be a pawn in his fantasies, and that he needs to come clean to his wife about everything he's told me and whatever else that I may not know about, and I've let her know that he has something to say to her, and that I'll be here for whatever she may need going forward, in whichever way makes her most comfortable. For everybody who was kind and understanding of this sensitive situation, I thank you greatly for your grace and understanding towards me while I process this crap show. And to everybody who was quick to say that it was obvious and to even blame me or say that I'm deserving of losing my friend, I want to say that of course it's obvious to everybody reading this when everything has been laid out for you, but don't be so dense as to forget that this is a real life situation that has taken place in the span of many years with real human beings and complex lives and deep feelings involved. There's years of context you know nothing about. Blaming me for not seeing it is blaming a victim of emotional manipulation for not realizing they were being toyed with. I'm grateful that I have the emotional intelligence and confidence to know that his actions are not a reflection on me as a person or as a friend, and to not let those comments get in my head. I hope those of you can hopefully learn from this and use this as a reminder that you're just bystanders on the internet and you don't have all the facts, and your comments can have big impacts on real people going through real situations. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Wow, okay. So I'm assuming that the friend knows about this now because they need to know ASAP. And yeah, right, your friend has a rotomania or whatever they said. There's no way. Yeah, the top comment, I don't buy it. I think he's a regular dude trying to sleep with his wife's bestie. You need to tell your friend what he's doing. If his alleged psych disorder is real, he needs to be under medical supervision in intense therapy, regular consultations with a psychiatrist. If it's real, both of you and your friend are in danger. If he decides his wife is in the way of getting his true love, he might dispose of her, right? Yeah, okay, don't say that. You owe it to her to tell her who she's married to. Yeah, and like the comment under that says, oh, no way, he has a rare disorder in which he fell in love with his wife's best friend. It's not his fault. And yeah, there are so many comments saying that that disorder is so rare, and apparently it's super hard to diagnose. There's a comment that says, this man just has a crush on you and wants to sleep with you. Did he self-diagnose himself with erotomania? Because this ain't it. And OP said, yeah, he did. And this comment, he googled, why am I constantly fantasizing about getting with a woman that I'm not dating? And erotomania popped up. You should tell your friend and cut off all contact with him, lock down your social media and block him on everything. And OP said, should I tell her this or should a professional? You say it like I'm supposed to just have a casual conversation with her. And somebody said, yeah, because that's exactly what you should do. She's your best friend and her husband husband was outwardly being inappropriate with you, tell her everything that he told you and allow her to deal with her relationship how she sees fit. Yeah, and the friend should definitely know about it by now, because what did OP say in that edit? Oh yeah, this bit. I told him that he needs to come clean to his wife about everything that he's told me, and I've let her know that he has something to say to her, and that I'll be here for whatever she may need going forward. Right, okay, so the friend should know now, so that's good. But yeah, you need to stay away from him, OP. Oh my god, what a way to start the episode. Let's move on. The next one is on the Am I Wrong subreddit. Am I wrong for not giving my sister my baby? I am aware how insane that title is, but hear me out. It's me, female 28, my husband Lucas, 39, and my younger half-sister, dad's side Leah, 24. My husband and I met through work 5 years ago, but didn't date right away. We tied the knot by eloping 2 years ago, and as I predicted, Leah would cause wedding drama. Leah herself had a failed engagement 1 year ago. We gave her our condolences, but she said if I really cared, I'd stop wearing my engagement ring around her and flaunting it. I obviously didn't take it off. It's a vintage ring that's an heirloom in Lucas's family. I'm now 5 months pregnant with a baby girl. She wasn't planned, but she's a very welcome surprise. Lucas is so excited to be a girl dad, it's so funny. Ever since I announced my pregnancy, it wasn't a fancy thing just over dinner. Leah has been very snippy and standoffish with me. First, it didn't really affect me. We're not close. But then I noticed when we go and visit my dad or we were at family gatherings, she's super touchy to Lucas. She giggles at every joke that he makes. It doesn't really bother me. I'm secure in my marriage, and if anything, it makes her look silly. We had a blended family event with both mum and dad's side, and we were discussing baby names, and Leah freaked out, screeching at me that she's the one who deserves a husband and a baby, not me. I never wanted a marriage or kids. I was focused on getting a career, and then stormed off. Later on, my dad and his wife said that she shouldn't have shouted, but that I was flaunting my marriage and pregnancy when I know that she had a failed engagement and had always wanted a baby. I thought that was it, but yesterday the three of them asked to talk, and they came over to our place and they legitimately asked if I would give Leah my baby. Like, they weren't joking. They said it seriously. They said that she deserved it more than me, as she wouldn't neglect being a mother for a career. Oh, how dare they? Lucas was stunned, but then promptly got them out of our house. I heard Leah clinging to his arm, telling him that she could be a good stay-at-home mum. Oh god, what? My mum and her side of the family are furious. Leah's mum said it was malicious of me to tell my mum's family. Really upset Leah when we eloped, so I had to make it up to her, and that my mum doesn't get a say. What the actual hell? Why do you have to make it up to Leah? Edit just to address some things. Yeah, unfortunately this is real, and it does happen often. Look up the case of Taylor Parker. This whole thing is really stressful. I'm immune compromised, so I'm really feeling run down and I have to be careful. Lucas is actually Swedish, so that is an option to those of you who have suggested moving. Okay, what did we just read? Yeah, the top comment, your sister and her mother are certifiably insane. You need to get them out of your life because they might decide to take your baby if you stay in contact. Yeah, and also this comment, this is a level of derangement where I think it can't possibly be true. If it is, cut them all out forever and get a restraining order because she's psychotic and dangerous. Don't let them anywhere near your child, nor any child that you do have. Yeah, what the hell is Leah going on about? And why is the rest of the family feeding into it too? That's what I don't understand. Like what, you're married and you have a child and you're somehow flaunting it and she feels like you shouldn't wear your engagement ring? Hell no, OP. You don't have to do bloody anything. Like, not only is that super wild of them to even ask, but they actually feel entitled to your baby because they deserve your baby. Yeah, like this comment says, go no contact with stepmom and Leah. Make it clear that they're not welcome around you or your baby or hubby. Who knows, they might try to steal your baby. She sure as hell is trying to steal your husband. Yeah, you've got to get away from them ASAP, OP. Wow, it's been an unbelievable episode today. The next one is called Am I the a-hole for not putting my mother-in-law's maiden name in my child's name? My fiance, 24 male and I, 24 female, are expecting our first child in December. We don't know the gender yet, so we're picking names for boy and girl. We've fallen in love with names already. My fiance has his father's last name, and that name is on his birth certificate, while his mother has a completely different last name. She's been hell-bent on getting us to make the last name of our child her maiden name, which neither of us have, so in my head it just doesn't make any sense. She's been very manipulative in the past with various things, to the point where we've given in to her just to get her to leave us alone. This time around, she proceeded to guilt trip us on why we won't give the child her last name. She proceeded to use the I raised you, he didn't card, and even said that she was going to go to the court to change my fiance's last name, which I found hilarious seeing that he's a grown adult. Now, mind you, my mother-in-law has 4 sons, 2 of which have her maiden name as their last name, and all 4 children are straight and have potential to bear children of their own in the future. I'm trying to convince my fiance to not give in to even hyphenating her last name and keeping it just his current last name to help set early boundaries on raising this child, but mother-in-law has it so deep in his mind that he has to please her and that she's entitled to make these decisions because she raised him. Not to mention that she demanded to be at my gender ultrasound instead of waiting for the reveal that we had planned at our baby shower. So I'm curious if I'm the a-hole because I want a child to have his or her father's last name and not their grandmother's. Update, my fiance fiance and I have talked and we have agreed to give the baby his last name, as I will be marrying him and taking the last name anyway. Boundaries will be heavily set with mother-in-law and appointments will be kept private between the two of us. I thank all of you who've validated my feelings and who've given me advice, as it has helped to make us realise and make him realise that this is all a creepy power control thing on her end. We only want the best for our baby and we need to lay the law now or it'll never happen. Oh yeah, definitely OP, and you're doing the right thing. Like, these boundaries need to be set ASAP. You need to put your foot down. Like, hey, don't be telling us what to do. You're not entitled to anything. Stop acting like you are entitled to stuff, because you're not. And you're not going to have a say in how we raise our child. Yeah, that's so wild, and you're definitely doing the right thing, OP. And like you said, you need to lay down the law now so it doesn't get worse in the future, which it probably would. Yeah, that's so frustrating. Okay, the last one for today is on the entitled parent subreddit. She's under 10, so she eats for free. I own a small restaurant, classic American foods, decent prices, kid-friendly. One of our policies is that kids 10 and under can get anything off the kids menu for free. The stuff on the kids menu is cheap. Like a bowl of mac and cheese with some chicken nuggets isn't going to break my bank on food cost. A hot dog and some fries aren't going to bankrupt me. Last night, I was sitting in the office watching YouTube videos when I noticed a family that I know personally. Their daughter, 12 female, is friends with my granddaughter, 13 female. When I see people I know, I have a tendency to sort of take over the table. The server does still get the tip, but I give the table a lot of extra attention. So I stop over and I say hi, and I check their ticket in the computer out of curiosity. The dad got our 22-ounce porterhouse with a fully dressed potato, butter, cheese, sour cream, bacon, chili, ranch dressing, and also crispy fried onions. The mum got our fried catfish and hush puppies. The daughter got our pulled pork cheeseburger with onion rings. Note that the daughter ordered off the main menu, not the kids menu. Anyway, they spend about 40 minutes eating, drinking, and generally being merry. Both myself and the server are keeping an eye on their drinks, making sure they're having a good experience. I even gave them 5 free credits on the jukebox just to be nice. I head back to the office to take a phone call, and while I'm back there, I notice a commotion on the cameras at that very same table. Before I can make it into the dining room, the server is in the kitchen heading towards my office. Apparently there was a mistake with their tab, and their daughter's meal should have been free. The server tried to explain that that only applies to items on the kids menu, and the girl had ordered off the main menu. That explanation fell on deaf ears, so I head out to solve the problem. I explained that not only did the girl order off the main menu, but I also know for a fact that their daughter is not 10 or under, since my granddaughter had been to her 12th birthday party back in March. The mum tried to argue, but the dad put his hand up, apologizing for his wife's behavior, and passed me his card to pay. Before they even left my establishment, the mum already left a nasty and completely false Google review, stating that we lie about our policies and kids don't really get free meals. Wow, the audacity! Your daughter isn't 10 or under. What are you talking about? And you didn't even order from the kids menu. Oh, that's so infuriating. Like, you think the restaurant is the one that's in the wrong? Get out of here. Yeah, this comment, the mum's not only entitled, she's a thief. Yeah, that's unbelievable, and that's enough for today. Definitely time to read something wholesome. I was offered a random day off due to an overstaffing mistake, and I took it. I decided to have fun with the pets. I got all ready for work like I normally would, and they did their usual job of trying to persuade me not to go, and I made a dramatic show of letting them win. They've been on a happiness high for the past 3 hours. Wow, that's so cute. And of course, you didn't need to do that, but you still did. That's so awesome. Good on you for doing that, OP. Like, oh my god, you're not gonna leave? This is the best day ever. I heard my husband scream, "No!" from across the house. I ran to see if he was okay, and then I discovered him watching that video of the raccoon who tries to wash his cotton candy, and then appears visibly upset when it's dissolving in the water. Yeah, fair enough too, that is a sad video. Like, what do you mean? Where's my cotton candy gone? It was here just a second ago, now it's gone. The top comment says, so valid, the poor trash baby. Yeah, definitely the poor trash baby. And on that note, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. And if you did, make sure you let me know in the comment section. And also subscribe if you like this sort of content. And the comment of the day today goes to Dita R. A Vincey episode is almost like going on the emotional roller coaster. You're sad for somebody, angry at somebody, and then you're laughing at the wholesome section. Yeah, that's so true. It's actually kind of beautiful, isn't it? There's ups and there's downs, but ultimately it is a wonderful time. And thank you for watching it. It means so much to me, guys. And also thank you for being patient with me too, guys. Like, I barely have any idea what I'm doing in these episodes, but I feel like that's sort of a good thing, you know? Like, I feel like that's where the magic is. Like, I'm not sure what we're going to read today, but I do know that it's probably going to be fun and also horrifying. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode, guys. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!